So for my assessment, I decided to put together an embroidery piece. And a way I thought I could expand on my submission is by using what embroidery creates for me, which is a contemplative and reflective space where I'm guided by materials to informally discuss the decisions I'm making in my piece, because I feel like the process of putting together an embroidery piece also really encapsulates the incredible things that the arts allow children to do and express, and it's not just about the end product. So that's what I'm going to do today. So the first part, which is the orange stitching, represents growth. So it starts off small, and then slowly, as stitching is, you allow the student to grow through fostering the arts in their education. So for me, this is really representative of my journey. Primary school, arts wasn't really a priority. In high school, it became more of a priority, and then I was lucky enough to spend 2 years at COFA, where I got to really hone my skills and find things that I was passionate about. And I think what the arts did was it allowed me the freedom to find what I was passionate about, which is what the next little motif on my canvas represents, where I've left like blank lines between the stitching, because it does give you room for expression and growth and the fluidity to experiment with different art forms, whether that be in music, drama, visual arts, or dancing. Like, you have so much freedom, and I think that's really important for the students, especially kids, to have, because I would have never discovered that I love embroidery so much and stitching as an art form if I hadn't been given that freedom to experiment while I was in my first degree and throughout high school. So then, sticking within the colour theme I've chosen, which are warm and bright, exciting colours, I moved on to blue stitching, which I did almost sporadically to kind of represent that improvisation that the arts facilitates, and that movement and fluidity, the way that you can express yourself in so many different ways, and the excitement that it causes for students. So I did that with the blue. I then moved on to almost the opposite effect, which was using calming and softer blues to create a chord that kind of runs through the canvas. So for this, it kind of represents how calming and how the level of concentration students need when doing certain artistic tasks can have a really relaxing and focusing effect, and how important that is, especially in this chaotic world, but also for students and like primary school children who sometimes do just need to stop, breathe, concentrate on something, and be proud of what they're making. I then moved on using different colours to create small chords on the cotton, which really, for me, represent the connectivity that art creates. So I find art is one of those things that doesn't have language barriers or cultural barriers. If anything, it lets us accept and understand cultures a lot more. So it really provides a sense of connectiveness between students, and I guess in the real world as well. We all flock to Paris to see a portrait. We all admire art in different ways. We all consume art in so many different ways, whether that be in design, architecture, fine arts, informal arts. We all see graffiti art. We see art everywhere. It's all around us, and I think it really connects us as human beings, and really represents how capable and incredible the human race is, that we can create these incredible things in our world. So I think it was really to represent that connectiveness and the hope that all of the different art forms we've studied in this unit help children feel connected to each other and the world around them. I then fostered this idea of improvisation and really let the materials guide me. So I created these small swirls, which were a little bit of a homage to classical artists like Vincent van Gogh, that you see everywhere, where they represent that movement. And I think the movement is something that I kept coming back to in this course, is that the arts in so many ways provide students with movement and the freedom to move. So I did that, and I think really fostering that creativity, like that pure creativity where you can see something and make something out of it, is why the arts is so important. Because when you get older, you need to have problem solving skills. You need to be able to look at things from different angles. And starting in primary school and getting children to engage with those skills is not only important for their self-development and their own personal expression and growth, but also for their skill set when they move into the workforce. I then added this yellow piece down the bottom, which really shows how music and dancing and drama really give students the opportunity to move their bodies and the freedom to do that in a safe space. As I kept going throughout the piece, I really just let the materials guide me. I think that's really important, is creating a space for students to express themselves and to be guided by materials and ideas and concepts they may not have heard before in a safe space. And I think the arts really allows students to do that. I let the piece get a bit chaotic, but I think that really shows what primary school art is all about. It's providing them that structured and safe environment to express themselves and grow and be creative without massive boundaries, without judgment, without marking criterias that are super restrictive. So the arts has a really, really, really big place in my personal life, but also belongs in schooling, because for me it's helped me find my identity. It's given me something to be passionate about. It's created a safe space for me, and I think every single student needs that in their lives.